That I hear, I forget. I see, I remember. And I do, I understand. So I want them to learn through doing. And what am I missing? So I am seeing that for the first time in my teaching. It's been it's huge. And through the struggling of doing it, that's how I understand it. Because NMR, it wasn't like something where I was like, oh, I can understand anything. But when I started doing it, it was like, my gosh, I don't know why I got to this program. So it was not easy for me. And I get it when the students are struggling like that. It's not easy. You have to do something. You have not done that before. You are used to just cut paste.
One of the takeaways that I like about that type of curriculum, it was that we were able to use models. So for example, trying to explain even like, I don't know, electrons, just tell my kids, well, to the students to draw models, like try to explain what they were able to get from even a simple reading. And that was really nice to see and share with the rest of the class.
I can do this as a final project, talking about bioprinting and NMR and MRI imaging in my last week of an anatomy, and so having those tools under my belt just really makes the program a lot more applicable, and it gives a lot more it's invaluable because it teaches you so many different strategies, and you get to learn from so many different experts who have different perspectives on what good teaching is and their different sciences. So that would be the greatest thing for me.
Yeah, for me, I would also applaud the multidisciplinary nature of the program, really giving you an array of what is out there and hearing about from different experts. I really loved this aspect of spicing up the class, and it's over the summer, so I really liked the flexibility which the program offered. It was not like I had to be at the campus every single day, working on something. There was really good flexibility, to be honest. I really like that, It's over the summer. You don't want to have all the eight hours tied up for something. So the flexibility was a huge thing for me, which I really appreciated. So thank you so much.
Would agree with this, that the hybrid structure of it allowed for greater flexibility that was really conducive to our schedules. I know we're not going to give you $8,000 to kind of just do fancy PD, that this is an actual research experience. And I think people who don't necessarily have a science background might not understand that. So that might be like something helpful for you guys as you choose new candidates. But this is, you're going to be doing scientific research. It's not just you're going to be learning about this stuff, you're going to be doing it in person, and then you're also going to be preparing deliverables essentially that will be utilized by you, but also will be kind of like evaluated for the success of the program. It's a scientific process within itself, being a part of this program while you're doing scientific stuff. So
for me, I had a great experience with my mentor. I didn't have any issues with my mentor. She is experienced, way more experienced. And one thing I really appreciate about her, she was so patient with me.
My role in the program was to teach and facilitate essentially just with additive manufacturing, 3D printing, getting people integrated with what 3D printers can do, their potential as far as how they can benefit course material, and providing props, and just the where 3D printing and additive manufacturing is going in general, since it is a very upcoming industry and it's very common, and for students to see that, especially at a high school level, to have their teachers integrate them is good and important. So yeah, that was what I did. Biska actually was 3D printing some molecules for her chemistry classes, and Tessia was printing, like I said, the solar systems, but also like anatomy components. So she was also seeking models of organs and just things so that her science classes could really just come to life with physical models. I felt they were really well aware of just what the program entailed, in the sense of they were they walked into it, they knew they didn't know a lot, but they were more than happy to ask questions. They were thrilled to learn more about it, and I felt like they picked it up really fast, especially that like little bit of learning curve. Once we kind of got over that initial stance, everyone was on board and everyone was on the same page, and it went pretty smoothly. I would say the most kind of common questions I had were more surrounding what the printers could and could not do. It was more surrounding like, do they print vertically? Am I able to print overhangs? Am I able to print this? Does this require a lot of supports? And I think it was more, the majority of the questions I received were surrounding the software that I turned them to, because the software teaches half of the skills, you know, being able to orient it and seeing what would be a best solution versus not. The most enjoyable aspect for me was just the enthusiasm that they had. They were all just so excited, and especially Tessia and Biska, they were just so thrilled, like, my students are going to love this. And I just loved being able to pass on that information on a secondhand scale. So
difference when you have a high school teacher, a fellow in your lab, they are more focused, they know more what they want to get out of the program and how to structure their time. So the maturity level in general is definitely higher. On the other hand, the interest is more in the education. So it requires a lot of thinking from me how to structure the project so that the teacher can actually have a component that will be useful for him or her later on in the classroom setting. I had to be very specific at that, and at the same time find connections with everyday life. So I think it was rewarding both ways. Both of us learned these connections. I think the most enjoyable aspect was that the teachers were very interested in what you do, again, from this more general standpoint, that this was my way to make the research that I do kind of more understandable to teachers, and in this way to students to contribute to their learning on a different level. So I saw this whole connection. And
well, they're more engaged, more focused. They know what they want to get out of the program. And so, and basically my impression was that what they're looking for is just hands-on, gave me quick, how can I apply these concepts into my classes? What is going to be useful for me? So the focus that they had was a lot different. Well, the most enjoyable was not actually research, but it was actually the class or the course or the excerpt that I got to interact with them. And so in there was really just like establishing conversations and talking about this relatability of STEM, organic chemistry to students. So basically, because me too, I also learned from them, right? And so it was basically at some point like a brainstorming, so getting ideas, me exposing into some ideas, but I also got some ideas. And so again, engaging students and having them being more interested, it was like a common ground for them and myself. So I think I learned from them as well. Look at ideas and basically looking at problems that affect us in an everyday life, and then bringing those to the classroom so that they can apply them to whatever topic they're teaching.